Wasiu Ayinde.
Ṣorúkọ àbísọ yín nìyẹn láti bẹ̀rẹ̀.
Orúkọ mi is Wasiu Ọlásùnkànmí Adéwálé, oríkì mi ni Ayinde.
Àwọn kan sọ pé Ìṣọ̀lá lẹ̀ ń jẹ́.
Mi ì ṣe Ìṣọ̀lá, kò sí Ìṣọ̀lá nù orúkọ mi táyé máa fi parẹ́, mi ì jẹ́ Ìṣọ̀lá rí. Wasiu Ọlásùnkànmí Ọmọgbọ́láhàn Ayinde Adéwálé lórúkọ tí àwọn tó bí mi náà sọ mi. Bàbá mi ni Àdìsá, ìyá mi Àbíkẹ́. Kò sí Ìṣọ̀lá ní orúkọ mi lọ́dún tí ń kọ́, kò sínú Wasiu Ìṣọ̀lá ò ju orúkọ mi.
So,
Number 1.
Alhaji Wasiu Ayinde Ọmọgbọ́láhàn, K1 the ultimate. Alhaji Wasiu is not God. Alhaji Wasiu is not capital G.O.A.T. Alhaji Wasiu is G.O.A.T. What this generation we call the greatest of all times. Take it or leave it. Èmi ò ṣe Fuji fan, mi ò ṣe Fuji enthusiast. But ọ̀rọ̀ Wasiu bí ayé ṣe gbé ipò yí ẹnu, especially the last 2 years, tó bá jẹ́ pé ẹnu máa ń finish èèyàn pátápátá, ẹnu dẹ̀ máa ń finish èèyàn ni kò yẹ kí Wasiu ṣẹ́kù. I listened to Dele Adeyanju Agbaletu interview on Wasiu. And of course, Wasiu sold himself very well in that interview. He represented himself so well. Tó fi jẹ́ pé that interview will go down as one of the greatest interviews Wasiu Ayinde has ever granted in his lifetime, not just his professional life. So credit to the little snippet that I use goes to Dele Adeyanju Agbaletu TV Uncensored. Dele is a great professional. He's not just a journalist, a professional journalist and broadcaster. He is a music historian, and I give him credit for that. Guys, why am I doing a video on King Wasiu Ayinde Kwam 1? I'm not here. I don't know him. I've never met him. But I also did a video when we were hearing what his band boys were saying, what people were saying about him, and a lot of things that there was hardly, of course, the saga when he had that conversation with Mr. President. Looks like he was bluffing and bragging and showing off, and it sounded insultive and everything. But someone said something recently that if you do not know someone very well, if you don't know people's story, don't judge them. Don't judge them because you just you don't know their stories. But from listening to Agbaletu's interview, the second one, the main interview, I realized that there is too much expectation from Wasiu Ayinde. He has his negative side. Wasiu, there's no amount of there's no matter how brilliant he represents himself, everybody has their own faults. Everybody is talking about this person. Why? Because he's a popular figure, he's a known person out there in society, and nobody is perfect. Even our political leaders are not perfect. He himself, he has a political, side to him. There was a time it was rumored that he wanted to be, to contest for a particular political position in the Solo area. I don't know other parts of Lagos. So the Solo is very influential, and people think that even the chairman there and some of the councillors actually are influenced by the support he gives to them. But the point is that a lot of things that people say this guy has done, this man, well, I didn't even know he was 68 years. I used to think he was in 64, 65. But see, what I see is that Yorubas, generally, Africans, Nigerians, any problem. We got a problem. There's one elderly person in my family before that will say, you have problems. Because you have expectation from people that it is not their responsibility to deliver on those expectations for us as a people. So ní agboolé orin in the Fuji, in the music cycle, both is genre and other ones, Fuji, generally speaking, Wasiu is G.O.A.T. He is the greatest of all times. I'm not taking sides with anybody. I don't have any music from any of these people. But from what he has said, you will see a guy that built himself. You will see a guy that has leadership qualities. Don't talk about the negative side. We have had a lot of his negative sides. Let's even agree all of those things are true. But when you hear article with evidence what this guy is saying, you will know that he has a lot of haters. And I do not know how the evolution of what is supposed to be individual businesses, this Fuji thing they are singing on music is individual businesses. Why is it that people hate themselves so much? Why is it that somebody has to bow for somebody who has to bow for somebody? They have to fight who is, they call it Ijagba, that seniority fight and all of those kind of things. This person did something for me. This person didn't do this for me. We carried our mentality from our general culture and tradition into what should be a kind of business, vocation, or professionalism. Okay, I'm going to analyze a lot of things here. There is this burden. Okay, please, if you are yet to subscribe, kindly go ahead right now, click that subscribe button. Please help me to subscribe to this channel. YouTube says only 25% of people watching me, and they keep coming to watch me, but sometimes maybe they don't remember to subscribe. Please go ahead. 75% of you are yet to subscribe. As you are watching me, please go ahead and click that button, and please share this video. Thank you very much. Thank you for your subscription. There is the problem of stardom. This video might be a little lengthy, but listen to me. There is problem of stardom. There is burden of stardom. Even in your family, in people's family, when they succeed, they become a burden. Everybody now expects them to carry their responsibility. I am doing the overview of the interview of Dele Adeyanju for posterity, because I am a musician myself. I mean, in my past life, not reincarnation. I mean, when English people say past life, that is some things I did before, part of my part-time that I did. I had a band. I've been an instrumentalist from childhood. So when those conversations of those band boys were coming from Wasiu and all of those things, I had my opinion. I understand. I have had interviews from Dele Adeyanju and other, a lot of blogs and platforms, how Nigerian musicians treat their, band boys, and how a lot of those people, they are just living in penury today, and why their bosses are very, very big. Sonia Ade, Obe, especially the Yoruba genre. Guys, you need to read people's comments on that Dele Adeyanju's interview for effect. That story, that this particular interview is K1 true story, unfiltered, from his own mouth, from the horse's mouth. My question is, why is K1 so hated? Why are there so many haters? Most people don't know the stories of great men, the people that are not there when you're hustling. Wasiu is a strong guy. Wasiu is streetwise. I won't call him a street man. I used to say some people can be, they can be streetwise, but they are not street men. Wasiu is agbabola. Wasiu is agbaman. Wasiu is what? Is chairman in public, in the streets of Lagos. When I say Baba, chairman, or meji, in your con, all those kind of things. But Wasiu is that kind of person. He's streetwise, and he didn't deny it. If you are born in Isaleko, people pride themselves that they are born in Isaleko. He was born in Agarahu. We're able to see his story with Asiwaju. I am not covering any negative thing this guy did. But why is it that a prophet is not honored in his home? And why is it that, there's this guy, which guy sang, how long shall we continue to kill our prophets? How long will we begin to bring down the best in their profession? Their work is entertainment, and that's why they are on everybody's lips. If he's not an entertainer, there are many. See, if he was in a bank, he would be a CEO now, or maybe sitting on the board of a bank, because he has gotten to that level in his profession, and he has introduced a lot in that particular music space. Wasiu spoke in that interview as a man of peace. He spoke not as that Wasiu that people will look at, maybe is too rugged, is too I'm sorry to say, rough, or speaks anyhow like an Agbero, or because I think he's someone that disciplines. I mean, that maybe he has abused people, maybe band boys slapping them or something like that. But he spoke this time as an elder. He proved that he is truly 68 years. That I am now able to understand, how those lovely, beautiful women marry him, despite all his controversies, because it's like he's very smart, he's very sharp, he's very aware, he's very intelligent, he's very experienced. I mean, with his wealth, with his influence, I'm sure that no matter the pedigree of any woman, if he has them one-on-one, Wasiu can convince anybody. You know, those kind of people, they will say they can sell sand to you as gold. I don't know whether to call it sweet mouth, but it's beyond sweet mouth. This guy is loaded with a lot of sense. Now, I will say to Alhaji Wasiu Ayinde, if this interview gets to you, you need to speak out more often. You need to grant more interviews. I'm not saying that you should just be granting interviews indiscriminately, but maybe at intervals when it is necessary to speak. Why? K1, a closed mouth is a closed destiny. You have a right to defend yourself. These are the days of social media. Come out once in a while, not all the time, because when people see you too often, you become too common and you're you see how long it took. I don't know how Dele Adeyanju got that, because, and Wasiu has a good heart. He came out to defend himself during that Ayon Kunle's issue and a lot of others. He went to other media, but he wasn't bitter with Dele Adeyanju. I don't know how both of them struck that deal. Dele, you hit home with this one, because this interview gave Dele a balance, and that's what he likes to do. He usually likes to give people, opportunity to represent their opinion, to defend themselves when people bring allegations against them, to have a balance. Alhaji Wasiu, a closed mouth is a closed destiny. You need to speak more, say your truth, because from what you said in that interview, this guy is not a common roadside musician. He's a multi-billionaire. Where towards the end of the interview, he was sharing, some things about his wellness resorts, all the investments that he was doing, the ranch and other things. He was talking about his businesses. He is business-wise, he's business savvy, he is smarter. He's a smart investor, he's an entrepreneur, he's a strategic thinker, he is a facilitator. This guy is in a class of his own. Some people even say that they know Wasiu in those days, that when he travels to London, he will buy newspapers, he will be reading. He might not, maybe, I don't know whether he went back to get a degree. See how this guy speaks. Some people who had the opportunity to go to private school, they don't have a sense. They cannot even speak the grammar that he's speaking. He built himself. Somebody said that, in that interview, in the comments, that this guy will buy like 5 newspapers. No, it was in another interview that Dele granted just last week. That man used to be the manager of Iyanda Sawaba. He said Wasiu will buy 5 newspapers. He will read them cover to cover. Why won't he understand English? Why won't he be socially and political savvy? Why won't he be ahead of the Fuji musicians, those ones that love and those ones that dislove him? Wasiu also seems to have this kind of domineering personality. He might be that kind of controlling type. He might also be that type that is showy, that like people to see him. And then they are in show business. So all of those attributes might be positive, they might be negative, it might have his personality flaws. Show me one human being who doesn't have a personality flaw. But this guy, K1, go and listen to that interview, guys. He is smarter than most people that are criticizing him. Part of the problem we are facing, not just with Wasiu, even with Kollington, with Barrister when they were alive, is that most of our problems are culture-induced. You see this agba, ijuba, iwure. In Yoruba, that when we do not concede the role of leadership to someone, then the society becomes unbalanced. But I think we are overdoing the aspect of having respect for people. These are people that sometimes they don't even get to meet, their paths don't cross, and they have expectations. If you are someone that has a good job, maybe a white-collar job or a good business in your family, you know what family problem is when people will expect you to do for them left and right. Are you getting me? And most of these musicians, it's a tradition. When they come out, they usually give kudos, not kudos this time around. I know you will laugh at that. They usually recognize those people that have gone ahead of them. Let's take it as a tradition. They usually bow to the elders. It's a Yoruba culture. Yoruba is big on respect. But it should not lead to hero worship. It should not lead to domination. It's just like telling Whiskey now to bow to who is it called, to Burna Boy. Everybody is doing their own. They are on their own lane. They are both multimillionaires. Burna Boy, so one of them may carry more than the other. They may hold it. One they may have more than the other. You don't ask Davido now to go and bow down to a Flavor, or a Flavor to go and bow down to maybe which artist will I bring on my lips again, to a Fino or whatever. Everybody is just operating in their own space. Of course, you see some kind of back and forth. Those people come into the social media, whether they are just giving us something on our lips to keep us busy and, fans of this and fan of that. Some of these things, some of these musicians, they are even innocent of some of the controversies that their fans caused them, because out of that, love for them and hero, worship. And, this is the same like that all over the world. There are people that are crazy over Michael Jackson, over Diana Ross, over, Bob, a lot of big artists like that. Even Justin Bieber right now, there are people that they go to their concert, they will be crying, they will be weeping, they will be so overwhelmed. But this play of domination, control, elder thing, this culture has now become, instead of an asset, is getting to be a liability. And then from the elders, from the way they look at the people following them in the circle of Fuji, it can even be expectation of over-respect, even for people they have never met. Wasiu was born in 1957. A 68-year-old man has a 48-year-old son. And when you hear what he said about Tinubu, I also did a video that was uncouth. It was not nice. He shouldn't have been calling the president by name. I still insist on that. But he was able to explain himself. He said he's close to Asiwaju. That, what happened between them is familiarity. They have come a long way. They grew up together in the same area, the same Agarawu. And he explained it very well, that they have a lot in common. That the mother of Wasiu also knew the mother of Asiwaju. Wasiu said the kind of trading his mother was doing at that time, and that people should go back and look at that video, that he was saying, Asiwaju was saying to him now that Wasiu's mother will go and meet Iyaloja, that is Asiwaju's mother, in heaven. That actually shows they have a connection, but truly, maybe you could have managed that conversation differently. But you don't know people's story. He was talking about barrister. People saying he was houseboy or whatsoever. He said, you see, he didn't really deny it. But he was not like an official houseboy. He only said he took barrister as a mentor. When people say alagbato. And even his children say, he said that barrister's children consider Wasiu as an egbon, not even like uncle. They seem like a senior brother, like barrister's firstborn. And the kind of honor he gave barrister, in that, because people think that he disrespect barrister, he just want to show himself off. No. The respect he gave on that single video alone is enough to last barrister and his generation and all the barrister lovers and everybody that needs that respect from him. He went too far, because he said that this is his hero and his mentor, and that he served him. It is true that he said if he's living with somebody or he goes to his house as a senior brother, that if that person is washing, should he be watching the person washing his clothes by himself? Yeah, he washes, he cleans, he does anything that person is doing. And if there's any activity, he gets engaged in it. So people should not in our culture, it happens. Even women that they have not married, when they visit their boyfriend, they will wash, they will cook, they will clean. You understand? We do that. People do that. Even ladies do it. So what's the big deal? Wasiu was too careful in that interview. Very careful. He said he doesn't want to open up old wounds. You see, I said greatest of all times. Why? You would have thought that he used his means or finances to buy his titles. But he explained how he got to be Mayegun of Yoruba land. And that he's a peacemaker. That's the reason why he doesn't want to expose some things. He doesn't want to say certain things that will begin to cause ripples again. He's the Oluomo of Lagos Federation. And is the pride of the people. He has many titles from many communities, and he prides the one of Omoba of Ijebuland as a pride. When you look at how the guy has organized himself, he's more organized than some PhD holders. Go and listen to the interview. You will learn one or two things. They give him, if he's just a lazy guy, a lazy thinker, do you see how they spray him in parties? I don't see anyone that is, sprayed money like Wasiu. He should just have relaxed and just be chilling. But go and look at his investment. Let's go back to what he said about barrister in Yoruba. He said, báwo ni mo ṣe máa wà pẹ̀lú ẹni tí mo pè ní Ọlọ́run mi tó máa fọ aṣọ tàbí ṣe nǹkan lójú mi tí mi nígbà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ kí n máa ṣe. How will I be with someone I call Ọlọ́run mi? How can Wasiu call barrister Ọlọ́run mi? If people are angry at this guy before, they should stop it. Because indirectly he said, ẹni tí mo pè ní Ọlọ́run mi. What do people expect from this guy again? Because people will still see, some people, I still saw some videos, some people are still reading meanings. What happened now? Abba, what happened? What are you looking for? That's how you bully people to death, especially the small and upcoming one. Wasiu is not a saint. He is a human being. If he's not a public figure, will you know his faults? Many of us that are talking here, our own day, our body, some people won't say what's past his own. The only thing is that the business side of music, how you treat your staff, may not be his fault because the music industry was not structured. It evolved. And there were a lot of things that were not documented. The problem is lack of documentation. When you go back into my channel, you will see where I said music instrumentalists and musicians, they should understand the business side and the contractual side of things, the legal side of what they are doing. I have been in that industry in my own little way. I'm not a big artist. I was a church musician and I was a gospel musician. And I have supported I've been in a little music business. I can't compare myself to Wasiu is too mega. And I'm not even in the same rank. We are not in the same genre, but I understand a little of it. He said most of Barrister's children were born while he was living with Barrister. And that's why he calls himself Akobi Barrister. What do people expect when somebody says, I am a son to this person? How many people can call your father, your biological father, along me? But this guy is calling Barrister that way. Even if he rose through Barrister rose through somebody too. Sonny Ade rose through somebody. Sonny Ade has a story with Baba Salah. And he rose through somebody too. Nobody dropped from heaven. Everybody comes from somewhere. And Wasiu says that most of the people that are causing these controversies are people he called the Sobere. That most of the lieutenants to some of these, like especially Barrister. And he explained the story with Segun Adewale, all of them, many things that people have come to the media space to say negative things. He didn't deny being Barrister's boy. He didn't deny being his apprentice. He said he wasn't his apprentice. He didn't go to learn music. He had already been a champion in Were. At the age of 15, he has won cups since age of 7 to 15. And he gave facts and location. He mentioned that Shina Peters was his close friend from childhood. So you don't know some people's story. He mentioned YK Ajao. Historically, this guy is organized in his thought. He's very logical. He's very sequential. You will now see why he's succeeding. And why some people hated him is that maybe he has arrogated the chief of music, the king of music, the Oluwaye Fuji to himself. He said it didn't happen overnight. He said he didn't insult Barrister. He said that, Barrister actually, he looks up to Barrister. And Barrister actually crowned him by himself. He removed the cap on his head and put it on his own head. And he started singing, Olori Iwa, Olori Iwa. What do people want? They read meaning to everything. He said he became Ayindemashall because of the Federal Road Safety Corps. I was also a special marshal in my final year in the university. We were the first set of special marshal taken to the universities then. So I understand what he's saying. So if there is a Kollington, it's a general. If Barrister is a doctor, and Wasiu doesn't want to be a professor, he just grabbed marshal. What is the big deal in that? He swore with his life. He never disrespected Barrister. He had issue because of that, that Sahaba thing, and he was able to tidy it up. He went back to beg Barrister, and it even became a problem between him and Sahaba because people want to benchmark Wasiu with Barrister to see that, to always say, to bedevil him and to badmouth him and to blame shame him that he didn't give honor to Barrister and he wants honor from people that are coming after him. Why are you looking for seniority? This is business. If there were limited liability companies are not banned that are entertaining people and we know their private life, people have businesses, nobody hear of them. Is it because these guys are in public spaces? All these musicians should learn. Face their warrant, face their businesses. Go and learn. Go and learn. The Bible talks about going to the ants. Wasiu is the kind of house of the ants that you need to go and learn now. Go and see how he built his business empire. All those money they are spraying him, go and see how he is having, there is financial investment, there is paper investment. These are real estate assets, and is even investing in things that, it can even be passed on, from generation to generation. Wasiu sang a song when we were growing up. Sorry, I'm a city boy. I grew up in the city, and whether you want to listen to music or not, all those baba and all those record shops, they used to disturb us. I'm a victim of noise pollution, so I know a lot of some of these things when I was growing up. I grew up in the city. He sang a song, One Binu Ori, One Lord De Filasa. Why are you Binu Ori of Wasiu? Like I said, I'm a victim of, I remember some of these lines that he used to sing about. I don't know many of his music today. I can be born again, I can be a child, a Christian or whatever. But I came out of the society and I don't pretend. He said he became Oluwaye Fuji. He was crowned at NTA Ibadan. He said what the organizer said, that they gave him that position in order to honor barrister, because it was supposed to be, that title was supposed to go to barrister or Kollington. But they saw that the enemy, an enmity between them was too much, and the rivalry. Maybe Wasiu packaged that story, but the point is that even barrister himself also crowned him. What are people looking for? People are taking sides, and it's like the enemy of my enemy is my enemy. Are you getting me? He has given so many accolades to Alhaji Kollington. Wasiu might have offended a lot of people because he's very brash. Wasiu is brash. Let's not kid ourselves. Maybe he's brash because of his background, because of his upbringing, he's streetwise and doesn't like cheating. And he's brash. He can be volatile as well. But the point is that you can't beat him because he came from where you will say like a downtown of Lagos. And downtown everywhere, everybody knows. Most places, downtown can be very, very, downtown people can be streetwise. Downtown is street. So Wasiu has street control. So maybe he carried that to his personal life and he used to bully people. Maybe. But his music is so rich. And it's not how far. It's not where it's coming from. Where is everybody came, from somewhere. My view on Wasiu is not how far, it is how well. And I think he has done well for himself. And if you hear what he said he did in his capacity as the king of Fuji, he assumed responsibility as the face of Fuji. No. Oyinbo Wasiu Mumio, his grammar, I'm captivated by his grammar. Very impressive. I think he should people should award him. I hate people proliferating doctorate degrees and they give Tajatero all the bulls and dogs, goats and dogs. But today, with his contribution, there's one woman from Osun State who is actually a visiting lecturer in, one of the greatest institutions in the world just because of her tie and dye. So if they give Wasiu doctorate in music, Barrister claims Barrister has one. They gave Victor, maybe Ake Dairo or Victor Olaya, they gave them Sir. The Queen gave them Sir during her time. So somebody, if they honor him with doctorate something, honorary doctor, it's not bad because he has improved that genre of music, right? So this man spoke as a man of peace. I have my view of Wasiu before, and I'm an independent commentator. I'm not here for you to, I used to, if you check, you will see, not crowdstanding. I'm not here to speak as, someone who will take sides. I am neutral, and what I see is what I'm saying. Wasiu gave a good account of himself. He spoke as a man of peace. He gave a balanced narrative. He avoided creating further animosities. He spoke as someone that wants to bring people together. But most fans and public are very ignorant. Right? He said publicly, people are fighting for Barrister, but he said Barrister he was crying that they put a crown on his head. He cannot lie about that. While crowning him at Water Park. Water Park is a known location. There are many Bajumos, there are many Agbabolas, there are many high lifers and people, society people that can disprove him if Wasiu come to lie about these things. So, people say what Barrister handed him to Asiwaju, but he's able to clear the fact, even from Asiwaju's statement, that their mothers known each other, is just like a small brother. He run errand, he will iron clothes for Asiwaju. He mentioned all of those things. And they are both from Agarawu, right? He even mentioned how he used coal iron to iron the president's clothes that time. Not many youth today may know that charcoal iron. You have to open it like this, then put charcoal, close it, lock it. When you open it, you fan it, so that it's in. Some of the Gen Zs or they may not know that. So he said it about the phone call. Barrister, what do you want from this guy again? He said Barrister called him whiskey. So they have a personal relationship. I'm bringing all of these things as a kind of overview of Dele Adeyanju. I'm not saying anything new. I'm just going through the key points of what Wasiu said on that interview with Dele. And he was saying that Barrister is not an ordinary human being. It's a deity. It's like Orisha. What more honor can he give? Because where people who hate Wasiu or vilify him is that apart from the way some of the negative narratives these band boys are having and other people in society, some of the funny things that they claim he has done, is this issue of Barrister. As if it doesn't concede to Barrister. But he said Barrister is not even a river by the riverside. He said Barrister is an ocean. He gave the best accolades. This is the same guy, this Wasiu Ayinde, he gave 500,000 to leading music musicians, for some of them for 18 months. And people are saying, they were asking him, Dele asked him, is it government money? He said it's not government money, it's his personal money. Well, he's very close to the powers that be. But he said it's not from any government office, and anybody can verify that. He did that on his own. And there are people who got that money for 18 months. Some people got it for 3 months. It was his personal money. There are people that government even give money to share. Even this music industry, we have had it before, when they wanted to sponsor the filmmakers and everything, people pocketed it. So even if it was government money, at least he still shared the thing. He shared the goodies. Why do people vilify this man so badly? He needs to manage his public image better, or maybe, like he said he doesn't even care. He said he doesn't listen sometimes, so that he can focus. If you see what he's doing, his retirement package is going to be worthier in retirement than even when he's really active right now. I don't want this video to be too long, but I'm doing an overview of a 2.5 hours video going to 3 hours. But I wonder, why do people vilify the greatest of all times in Nigerian Fuji music and one of the biggest musicians brands to have come out of Nigeria? Why do they vilify him so badly? A man that sent millions to individuals, and only thing you hear is evil stories about him. Our leaders, don't they have evil stories? Our church leaders, don't they have evil stories? Our imams and afars, don't some of them have, church leaders, don't some of them, not all of them, a few of them have evil stories? Don't our business people, some of them have evil, some of these negative stories? Wasiu is a human being, he's a musician. And from all the things that he's saying, there's a song he sang. I was an undergraduate then. That song was popular. Legacy, no, real. This and this man, when you look at him, is living legacy in music. You see, you want to put eyes in his family. When Abiola died, people talk about his family, right? There are many big people that have died in this country. That even people that are alive, people talk about their family. If it is easy, you go and pay people for 3 months, 8 weeks. Not to talk of 38 months or 3 months, 8 days. Right? I just think that even though Wasiu is a tough man, he has a lot of mistakes. Yes. But we are all human. There are many people saying similar things. Like Wasiu said, they make mistakes. Wasiu, I have used the word brash and could be volatile. But his contributions to the music industry should not be undermined. Right? But it appears on the whole that he has been a lot unfairly vilified, a lot attacked, a lot misunderstood, a lot misrepresented. And that is why he too should try and respond once in a while. Not to every accusation, but to key issues. Like Ayokule was very, very big because he talked about drawing blood. He talked about a lot of diabolic things that Wasiu is said to have done. A lot of people, I'm not justifying diabolism. I'm not justifying, evil. I'm not justifying any wrongdoing towards any other human being. But he navigated that very well, that conversation. Right? My advice is that, like that issue of blood between him and Ayokule, that Ayokule said he came to draw blood. What Wasiu said he did concerning that, because I need to address that, is that he is watching after the health of all his staff. It wasn't one person. And he's a good gesture from his good heart. It was doctors that came to draw blood for lab, but that was misunderstood by people like Ayokule and his band. Maybe it is for any other thing. He said he paid 6 million for medical lab for his current, not the old one, current staff for lab test at Mikio. Why? They can easily detect some diseases that could bring them down later in future, or if they carry contagious diseases or any other things that is on underlying conditions. But Alhaji Wasiu, if you want to do that kind of thing in future, let them go to the lab. Let them go to a physical hospital so that we will not have this kind of stories that touch the earth. They will know the heart. They will know that it is actually officially done in a medical establishment. And even when they are saying it, people they are saying it to can reason it out. Let your staff go to the hospital. I don't know where that blood sample, they call it drawing blood. I don't know where it took place. All right. So, Taye, talked about Taye, currency, pasuma, and everything. And is saying that people should not continue in the tradition of thinking that if there's no fight among Fuji musicians, the music will not sell. Right. He talked about his relationship with Pasuma and how Pasuma's mother was Anabiamo Toto, and who did so well with him that he can never have problem with Pasuma in that sense that people are thinking, and he can never instigate Thai currency to go and attack Pasuma. He cannot dale Pasuma, right? Because he has a relationship with him, and he has a relationship with the mother who actually brings things to him just, kind of to pay homage from time to time. And he tried to reconcile people like Pasuma and Thai, right? So all of the things he said he did concerning the Fuji music, including how he tried to bring Fuji artists together, many of these people, we see it in different, if you belong to some Yoruba clubs or association, you will understand that people sometimes, they misinterpret good intentions. He tried to get Fuji recognized. He tried to do an incorporation, which some of the people that have gone ahead of him even tried to frustrate the incorporation. To even get them to his side was very, very difficult. I didn't plan this video. I'm looking at the time right now. It's a lot long, but my concern is that aspect of the registration of Fuji and the Corporate Affairs Commission story, I'm really moved by that story. He said it was in his house that the constitution of FUMA, Fuji Music Association of Nigeria, was drafted. That he, with some people, wrote the constitution. Fancy Aye Alamu, what's the name of this guy? Muhyiddin Ashekun Waheed Akongbe, and Kolotiti or someone like that as the secretary. And he also has his own personal secretary and lawyer, Shola Abidakun, who is still alive, who went to the Corporate Affairs Commission to register everything about Fuji. If this guy is pioneering something that will be corporate for Fuji, how is that a problem? And a lot of people are benefiting from it today. He could have manipulated things, but it didn't look like he did. Or maybe they don't just like him, or because he has a vision that is higher than them, or because illiteracy is a disease, my people. It can also be part of the problem, because you are trying to help people and they are trying to fight you. He tried to do unification. He said he went to Abeokuta, he went to Agege, he went to Ilorin. Whether good or bad intention, he made a move. That's leadership. Right? So all these fights about Barrister, Kollington, Dauda Ekwa Akara, Wasiu, and all of those kind of things, all those ote, all those bickering, all those tembelekun, they are not things that will move the music forward. This guy has raw talent, and he has built that genre of music with his band boys, those who they'll come and go, and that happens. The only thing is that in future, people should have that legal document that will make their relationship with the band leader binding. Okay, in such a way that they will be properly compensated for their labor. I brought someone on this channel recently who talked about value, that people should place value on themselves and negotiate, and then at least have a written contract. Okay, that way they'll be protected. I don't want to go over the controversy with Alhaji Kollington again about how he didn't attend his mother's burial. But what I see is, I'm very impressed with this guy coming out to talk. I am not saying Wasiu is a saint or a perfect person, but I know that the basic ignorance and the literacy mind, and sometimes our culture is good and rich, but the way our culture has been overplayed could be part of the problem that this person has. They brought culture and some personal perception into the business space. Take it or leave it. King Wasiu Ayinde is a good communicator. In that interview, he expressed articulately, and he shows he's a good organizer, he's a good manager of men and resources, he's very sharp, he's very intelligent. Why people have problem is that they don't have his kind of mindset and they underrate him. To you, he might not be a good man. I do not want to, launder his image here, but the truth is that, let's call a spade a spade. Wasiu has wisdom and is able to use it. When you see the end of that video and see all the things that he is putting together for himself, you will see a man of vision. It's difficult to cope with the mentality of people who their senses are in their slippers. The way this guy thinks, the way he talks, the people he rolls with, the strategy, even a lot of intellectuals, educated people, he's an intellectual too that have lived abroad. They don't have his business strategy. He's very organized, he's very strategic, short term, medium term, long term, and even things that he will leave for posterity. Is very, very structured, and you will see that he's using professionals in things that he's doing. His ranch, when I saw his cattle like 2 years ago, I'd be like, wow, I even thought that was how much he is. Go and see the things that he's building. Don't ask me the source of his money. He's a hardworking person. Everybody knows his brand of music, and he's only rolling with the big ones. You know how much it takes to even invite him. Even from his booking, his expenses are covered. And I'm sure they spend for him more than his booking. That guy goes away with millions in every of his in every of his performances. He gave Agbaletu a walkthrough of his medical complex, 90 rooms, MRI and CT scans. He was saying that only Mikio has that kind of machine altogether in one place. He calls it wellness center. He's talking of physiotherapy gym. How many people who are replaying that same music with him? They may not have his money, but at their own level, what are they doing? Other than just, funny things. He's talking of wellness, massage therapy, and he says it's not an hotel. He built that building like an industrial standard. Well, I have to drop it here. I think a lot of things have been mixed up about this man called Wasiu, and it's not just Wasiu. This happens to a lot of successful people in our space who are misunderstood just because of the mindset of our people. It's very difficult to navigate, as a successful person, even at the family level, on your street, in your neighborhood, in your community, not to talk of a global image like this man. And Alhaji Wasiu, Pelelegun Agbanjo, also try whatever comments you see that people are saying, especially about your temper and about your disrespect for, people sometimes. I mean, you can work on that. You're a human being. But on the whole, G.O.A.T is not go-to. It's not go-to. It means greatest of all times in Nigeria Fuji music, and in Nigeria music generally. You are a force to be reckoned with. Thank you, Agbaletu, for the original video. And guys, I just said this to just let us know that there is a lot of lessons people can learn from, especially the musicians that are vilifying Wasiu. I'm not praising him, Wasiu. If it's necessary to find a way out of your big resources to kind of do a welfare program for some of the people who have served you in the past, let them taste of the abundance of what God has blessed you with. Just do it for posterity's sake, because that's a big deal that people are talking about. And I say, I will see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. And have you subscribed, guys? Please go ahead and click the subscribe button. I'll see you on the next one. Congrats, Dele Adeyanju and Alhaji Wasiu Ayinde K1, the ultimate Ayindemashall Kwam 1, for that fantastic interview. Bye.